can see only Seema.
Okay, hi Manju. To formally introduce you, so Manju has been a colleague. In fact, we have a retreat. We have a retreat in near DPS North where we conduct a lot of camps. So there are these 2-3 day camps on inner happiness, finding inner happiness or relationship, and where we all stay together and all that. And Manju has been. I think I would have attended 15 so far, and Manju is the person who conducts those camps, and it's a wonderful thing. We have a lot of sessions by Dr. Ali, plus a lot of activities, group activities, individual. So Manju spearheads that entire program, and my interactions with him, whenever he comes, we sit down and chat in the office. We used to, at least till I was in Banjara, and understand from him how he handles children and all. Always very fascinating, right? His this thing. So immediately I thought of him when it was about school counseling. So he's done life skills, and I've seen him in action in Manthan, how he does life skills with grown-ups also. So very simple, down to earth, and very approachable. That is what is very likable and lovable about Manju. I'm sure all the kids in the school would really feel free to go to somebody like him and express. So that is a connect I found in Manju in the last 3.5 years that I've known him. So Manju, over to you. It's going to be very interactive. You half an hour you'll be taking a session, like you'll be telling us about different things, and then if we can leave it open
Yeah,
for
we can
question
have a
answer.
question answer session kind of.
Sure.
And I'll be happy
Sure.
if I see more people. That's what all I keep telling face to face. Because here we see only names will be there. If you look, that's what
all
always.
are in exam mode yaar. Exam mode में सब पता नहीं
All
नहाए
are
भी नहीं है
so
कि नहीं.
tired.
But
नहीं, all are so
counseling is
tired, not
always about
knowing.
meeting each other. It would be very good. Okay. Just as Seema told, Manthan was one of my responsibility which I was taking care of. And I've been working in the school from past 11 years. Is when 11 years back, when I started my career as a counseling, it was a new for me also at that time to understand things and all that. But as the time went on, I really started enjoying doing it, and spending time with the children is the best thing. Even now, I would love to be with children than adults most of the time. So counseling, at least now, okay. But earlier when I joined also, the word counseling is still a taboo with a lot of people. So first responsibility is to make people understand what is counseling. And counseling is not like if a person is mad or something, then who comes? Because in the school also you find a lot of parents hesitant to send a child to the counseling person because they feel that nothing is wrong with my child. So making them understand what is exactly counseling, and counseling is not dealing with somebody who's mad or something. It's just you and me who needs counseling in some part of our life. So that was the first task for me to make, because I was the first counselor in the school. So there was no concept of counseling in that school. So I had to make everybody understand what is counseling, management, parents, teachers, to children, exactly what it is, and in a very simple word where they can come and share whatever they want to share, and about maintaining confidentiality, all those things. So that is how I started with that, and I kept doing it. I'll not tell that in 10 years I was successful in making them understand everybody what is counseling. Still that process keeps going on. But after that, there were few will start coming, including teachers, parents, and I had few of the support staff who work. They also come. So children, sometimes we think like, why do children need counseling kind of thing? When we were children, we did not have any counselor or life skills trainer. But I always keep telling the current generation children are so different from us. That's what I always want to make people understand, parents, adults, that how different the current generation children are from us. So I start off with some questions like asking the parents whose date of birth starts with 2000. So hardly hear any parent whose date of birth starts with 2000. No. And anybody having children whose date of birth starts with 19. So maybe here and there you may have, but all the children date of birth starts with 2000, and we belong to 19. So there's a century difference between them and us. So I go that way to make them understand how it was earlier, how the family system was there, and how it is right now, to make them understand that orientation, you can call as orientation for parents initially, to make them understand what exactly counseling is. And then when they start coming, we may feel that small children may not have any issues. Believe me, even a KG1 student can have some issues. Even a first standard student can have some issues. So Sima was telling about few case studies. So case studies, some of them I would like to. So one was about a child maybe who was in the first standard and always looking sad. I like just noticed it in the class and okay, why the child is so sad when all are happy, enjoying, laughing, smiling kind of thing. Then when I spoke to the child is like, okay, I not able to spend time with my mama. The child had a parent who's working, both the parents. And the child goes to tuition directly and then the parent, almost the parent, by the time parent comes, the child sleeps off. So there was no time for the baby or the child to spend with the parent. Was anything. We can't even think like, okay, first standard child can things kind of thing. Later, I had to call parents, talk to them, how time adjustments can be done or how time can be managed. All those things we went through, and then slowly they were able to manage few things, and you could see the change in that child. And after that, maybe it took some time, but after that, I could see the change in the child, where now the child was more interested in academics or was more interested in doing other things. Many times, especially in school, the challenge comes is counseling will be at the end, or you will take the sessions, or you will meet the students maybe after the class hours or during the lunch time. So these are some challenges also that's going to come up. My thing was when the way I was talking to the teachers also was that if the child is not focusing in the class, then there's no use of child sitting in the class, because at the end the child is not taking anything. So there may be something bothering the child, but if we try to work on that, maybe the child can sit and focus and concentrate. So it's better if the child miss the class and talk to the counselor and share the views, and after some time when the things are okay kind of thing, the child can focus more in the class. So that's been there. And like that, in the lower classes, most of the issues comes is about the family. Family, the family personal issues and other things. I had one in like where a KG1 student addicted to mobile, like KG1. And when I asked the parent told the child is not leaving his mobile. So I had like his. So it was pre-COVID. It was not post-COVID. It was pre-COVID when things were offline, everything. And the way the parent is like, has the child has its own mobile. So that was when I felt okay, there's something need to be done. Then I do more of the parent sessions and teacher sessions also, because sometimes working only with the child may not be enough. If the child is going to some family issues or something, however you are working with the child, you are helping the child to manage. But maybe addressing the parent will be more effective if we work on them or something. So some of them used to be group session. Then mobile, as I told, I had a session for the whole group of parents on mobile addiction and technology, and made them aware that how we need to manage things. Even I don't blame the younger generation when we tell they are addicted to mobile, because when they are in the lower class only, we give the mobile to them, and they have not seen what is outside world. So I tell people, parents, to take them outside and show what is real ground or what is real cricket, what is real bat and ball. They know bat and ball. You have all the games in the mobile. So even cricket they'll play in the mobile. So it's been that way. So to first we need to give an exposure to the current child. What is the real world? What are the various other activities that is there? Then this can help out in reducing that mobile addiction and other things. And also I have lot of parents sessions, teacher sessions, and group sessions with the children, mostly on life skills kind of thing. Why I believe life skills is more effective, or life skills I always feel as a preventive. See, counseling is when something happens, maybe the child comes to share that I'm depressed, or I faced a failure, I don't know, or I'm addicted to this, or I'm not able to manage this. But if we try to maybe on a preventive mode, if we try to have group sessions and create an awareness among children, maybe a child does not go to a depression level at all. Even if a child faces some failure in life, the child can manage on his own. Or if there is some peer pressure, the child can manage on his own. And even addiction, maybe on mobiles, the safety usage, the child will know how to use, how much to use. The child may not even get addicted. So I always believe like group sessions and life skill sessions can be as a preventive method. And then after that, again, there may be some of the students who may go through some of the issues, family issues and other things which they cannot cope up, or they're not able to manage. Then counseling is going to surely help them how to manage things. And one more case study I had, like maybe the class student was in around 10th or something. He was not talking to some year back sometime, not talking to mother. So when I asked, okay, why, what, just to understand, told that when he was maybe in the third or fourth standard, he got very less marks in one of the subject, and all the other subjects, the student got good marks. But mother focus only was on that subject which the child got less. And the mother even did not appreciate the other marks kind of thing. I told that's the end. After that, I never spoke to my mother. Years. So sometimes we feel these may be very small issues, but these issues become bigger, especially in case if they're not addressed kind of thing. They may be okay, that time they were not talking or whatever. But if effort is not made to understand or to work on some things, then it becomes very difficult. Even relationship, you keep telling like it should be reviewed on a regular basis. Some relationship, when we don't review on a regular basis, we go to the end when it's almost at the stage of dying. Then if we try to do something, it may not happen. But when it's on a review on a regular basis, then they can find how the relationship is going on. And also in schools, what you see is lot of parents involvement when the child is younger. So you have an annual day, you have a sports day, you have a parent teacher meeting, KG1, KG2, first standard, the whole ground is full. You come to 6, 7 standard, half of the ground is full. You come to 10th standard, you see only children and you will not see any parents sitting there. So even the parents involvement starts reducing. I still don't know why. Whenever I want to address the parents, I keep addressing that keep your communication channel open, even whichever class the child is. But over a period of time, parents start losing the interest in the child's education or overall what's happening in the life, and the child also stops sharing. Then I had a session where I was discussing with the children and tell, okay, now you have to go and share with your parents. You're like the child told me on face, like, I want to share, but my parents are not ready to listen. They are very busy. They don't want to know what's happening kind of thing. So here it becomes difficult, or it does not work only when we work with the child. Then we need to address parents also. So there are so many issues which a child can go through, but at the same time taking parents into confidence, teachers into confidence, management into confidence, it becomes a very important thing. As I told, sometimes the parents may not even send the child. My child does not have any problem. Why they need to? I think you need to, like when you start also, in case if you're starting, you need to design your own word instead of counseling. Some creative word. I also tried with a lot of few things. Sometimes we change it. We don't call as a counseling also, because counseling as such is a taboo still. Maybe later it may go, but as of now, it's still a taboo, the word counseling. So some creative word, especially in the schools, if some creative word, different word is used, maybe sometimes they'll open up and they'll come to you also. and also to make them understand that confidentiality will be maintained, because the children will be having that fear that since they are sharing, you may share with their parents or you may tell them teacher about that. That confidentiality has to be maintained, and that assurance should be given to the students that whatever you share, it will be with us, and none of them are going to know about it, as unless and until a child tells that okay, you talk about this or talk about that. You don't share even with the management. So even when you are entering a school or when you are going, initially only you need to talk to the management and make them very clear on what will be your role, how much you'll be able to share, because they'll ask you the reports. And once you are working on your own, it's a different way. But if you're working in an organized structure with a system, hierarchies, all those things, there's a different way how to work. So you had to give reporting, or you had to give something about that. So here I was lucky enough that I was not told to give the full details kind of thing. Even when they ask, okay, this child has come for a personal issue, over. This child has come for an academic issue, over. So there is no in detail of what is that personal issue or what is that academic issue, what's going on in child's life. No, nobody had asked me. So could also maintain that confidentiality with the child. So that becomes very important, because maybe sometimes some organizations may ask you about the report. So that has to be very careful of maintaining the record. And also school counselors sometimes have other roles to be played also. You'll and also school counselors will be various types of, sometimes will be a full time, some may be like a part-time counselor kind of thing. I was a full-time there. So you become part of other activities happening. It can be annual day, school day, sports day. You'll be there, but still your main role will be on counseling, and also some roles and responsibilities which you may not be able to take, which can be in contradiction. I remember like I was given a in charge for discipline, and I was like, I cannot take it, because discipline is so different. Imagine you stand and discipline the child for not cutting hair, or shoes not being, or uniform not being proper, or whatever. And next day you want to talk to the same student. So the student is not going to talk to you as a counselor. The student will be seeing you as a discipline teacher or something. So we need to make sure that we divide our roles, responsibilities, and other things, and not get involved in many other activities also. And also not, I think you would have studied also, like not to get involved with close relationship with anybody there, since you are a full-time. If you are a part-time, that's a different, but full-time, it's really difficult. So I had where I know everyone, I have a good relationship with everyone, still I'm not close to anybody. So that was the relationship I used to maintain with my staff or colleagues and other people also. And lot of parental sessions, parent session even on parenting. I see, sometimes we feel like why this parent is doing. Believe me, a lot of parents do not know that they are doing something, or something which is bothering the child. But nobody has learned and come what is parenting, and especially understanding these 21st century children, it's very difficult. And parents are trying their best also. So sometimes parents, they themselves are not aware that their action is leading to something like this. The child is feeling so depressed because something is happening at the family, which parents are not aware. So I sometimes I don't blame parents. The awareness among parents also is equally important, that what are the factors that can affect the child. As I told, preventive. If we try to work on preventive, there are so many issues which we can solve on this child reaching to the level where they need counseling. And even on relationships, adolescent issues, adolescents, that is one of the uh, what you call as uh,
Prime
mm,
topics.
confusing state of mind. But at the same time, when I talk about adolescents, the adults, whatever I talk to or whatever, they told, okay, like we also went through the adolescence. So what's the great deal in that one? We also passed those adolescent age. So why should we break our head? They'll also know how to go about kind of. So simple question I'll ask, when you all were adolescent, what was the TV channels we had? What were the TV channels we had?
Doordarshan.
Only needy.
Doordarshan 1 and 2. 2 also came later. So, and now it's a YouTube or what you want, Twitter, Facebook. So I tell we all are teenagers of adolescents of Doordarshan 1 and 2, and the current generation are teenagers of YouTube. So even that making them aware of things. And then science teacher may tell that I'm covering everything like the biology things we are discussing, everything in biology kind of thing. Then I ask like, here you're discussing about the parts of body or what kind of thing, but nobody is discussing about the emotions and feelings. So an adolescent, what should I do when I feel like this? When I have this emotion? That is what they are lacking on. So again, there it comes where we need to have a sessions and we need to make them understand, because at that age they don't know what to do, and these movies are like all the movies. And I keep telling these movies should do part 2, part 3 and all that to show the reality. Even this stories and all fairy tales, they married and lived happily ever after, which will never happen. So these kids are given that image that wow, everything went on so smooth and we get into relationship kind of thing. So when they do part 2, part 3, these will understand what exactly afterwards it happened. So they're confused. And when they come to 8th standard, especially, many times the academic graph starts coming down. Why? Distractions. They want to be in that, and peer pressure. Like having a girlfriend and a boyfriend in this current generation is a must. If you don't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you don't belong to this century at all. So they should have somebody whom they can call as girlfriend, boyfriend, and also academically they are not so focused and other things, and they get into all this. But if we try to help them with managing their emotions and how to manage this and how to balance that, how to have a friendly relationship with opposite gender and all those things, they are going to really help them so that they start focusing, and when time comes into get a relationship, they are going to surely get into relationship. But these youngsters, more and more, what I feel is they don't have a proper guidance. They don't have proper channel to discuss. Even parents also, if any child goes and tell I smoked, the first thing is properly they may give him one slap or a tell just how dare you do it. That's the end. The child will never open the mouth again. So for if you can understand, okay, you what made you, how you felt, what happened. If you try to go on that, maybe the child will be able to express. And anytime when the child does any wrong, also maybe come and share, at least so that we can correct it. So many this current generation going through is that there is less of support and guidance, and also the family systems how it's going on from joint family to single nuclear family to now it's like most of the single parent kind of thing, and the single parent will be working, so the child may not even have anybody at home to share what they want to share, and the school counselor becomes the sometimes the only source where the child can come and share. Even the class teachers, if they share also, if the teacher is able to handle it well, it's good, but sometimes it can cause damage also. So but as a counselor, we can understand how exactly to go about, and we can help the student in whatever way we can. And I have seen that result, as I told, like from the class 1 or class 2, when we start talking to them on this thing, over a period of time at the class 3, class 4, class 5, class 10, you can see the changes that are happening. And also some students who were doing very well in lower classes, suddenly in the higher classes it goes down, or some are not doing well, suddenly in the higher classes they do well, or somebody was so happy in life at the lower class, when they reach middle school or high school, something happens in life that their happiness is gone. So on a regular basis, when we have this interaction, we'll be able to help the child to overcome those things. And I always believe more on preventive methodologies so that we can work. So teenagers, before they start becoming teenager, if we start working on anger management, maybe when they become teenagers, the fights in the classes, the fights outside the schools, hitting each other, complaints coming out, those things may get reduced because they know how to manage their emotions or anger. But after they had a fight and something happened and then they come, then you are addressing only those 2, 3, whatever. So group session always helps to address the whole crowd. And also we don't know when that can come into use. Okay, now when I talk about sometimes like addictions kind of thing, smoking or even drug addiction, some may feel like right now I'm not addicted. So I don't, why do I need? But I don't know, when you go to a college level, maybe you may come across your peer pressure or other things. And maybe that time there is a chance you may get addicted. But now if I'm preparing you, at that time when you come across anybody like that, you'll be in a better position to maybe be assertive and not get addicted, rather than waiting for you to second PUC, then go get addicted, and then go for a counseling, and then see that how you can come out of the addiction. Preventive is always better than cure. But still, there are so many things where we have to address. And also parental counseling also is very important part, because there are so many family issues that will be going between the spouse at their house or whatever, which will be affecting the child. So if we can have parental sessions together, both the parent or only one parent, and try to address that one, that is also going to help. And I used to have regular teacher sessions also, maybe on understanding children. And during the COVID time, and I had on like emotional, mental and emotional well-being. So I took all the topics which can affect our emotional or mental well-being, how to manage those, including relationships and other things. And there are so much which help in their personal life. So when I always feel like, okay, if we can solve issues of the parent, teacher, their personal issues, other things, automatically that's going to reflect on the children also. They, how they respond to the child, or how they be with the child. Sometimes their personal baggages can also maybe affect them. But when you work on those things also, that can help for them to make their life better, and also to understand the children better. And one I had on was the financial literacy also, because I had a lot of people, like when I asked, like, I'm getting retired, okay, now where to put, or I have only so much money, or somebody told to put money there and I don't know, I just put, I don't know what exactly it is, I have something. So I felt like creating an awareness on financial products. So I had that session for especially my school teachers, to explain them on various financial products that are available, how they are, what the risk it has. And at the end, it's their choice. So tomorrow, if somebody wants to come and sell something, that they should be in a position to go back, research on their own, find out, come back and choose whether this is right or wrong for me. So always believe in empowering the student, parents, teachers, so that they are able to take decisions, whatever is needed. And after that, they are responsible for the decisions also. Because many times we want to blame somebody, that because of somebody this happened, that happened. But if we can take charge of our own life and are ready to face the consequences of whatever it happens, it empowers the person. So I used to do for financial literacy for teachers on everything. And I always feel happy when they come back and tell me that, okay, this has helped, that has helped, kind of thing. And my students, like who have passed out from 10th standard also, recently I had a session in one of the 11th uh, grade. Uh, so I went there, and on the stage, I just was there for 2, 3 minutes. I spoke something and came back. And in evening, I got a message from my old school student telling that uh, the student was so happy to see me on the stage, but could not speak to me because it was a big crowd. And the child told me, like, I was expecting this story, because I usually use stories and other things to tell in the school. I was expecting this story, but it was nice to see you. And it would have been nice if we have somebody like you here also. So it was like, that was a very satisfying thing for me, that, okay, the child remembered me, and now the child is happy to see me here, kind of thing. And one thing what I would like to tell is, we need to have a skill of self-appreciation, which I learned, self-motivation, because as a counselors in general, and especially in any institution, it may be very less chance that you may be openly appreciated or openly motivated kind of thing. Because I always keep telling, okay, a student goes to the stage and he gets, okay, he got first prize in cricket, or he got first prize in volleyball, sports teacher, first prize in music, first prize in that. So no student can go to a stage and tell I was addicted to smoking and now I'm not addicted to smoking. So the counselor, please come on the stage. That is never going to happen. Other than you and the child, nobody will even know what was happening. But that does not matter. As long as I know that the job I'm doing is satisfying for me, I'm able to help the child, and the child remembers me. That's more than enough the satisfaction which gives us. So I am always passionate about working with the children. The children are our future, and somewhere I feel that if they are given the proper guidance, the proper support, and to differentiate between right wrong kind of thing, going forward there are so many issues which we can avoid before they can happen. So that's what I always believe in. So this was about my experience, very in a nutshell kind of thing, though it was half an hour nutshell. So based on what you asked, then I may be able to tell more on specific things you want to know about that, or something related to your subject. Because then theory is very important. Then you have to write theory and pass, and then you will apply the practicality when you go there. So anything what you want to know, you people want to know, based on that I can keep answering. Yes, Seema.
Thank you very much for this session. It was wonderful, and this topic is actually very close to my heart. Ever since I took MA, this is what I've been telling everyone everywhere, that I somehow want to work with children and equip them. Whatever
Voice is
you
breaking,
told about
Madhu.
life skills and preventive stuff, everything resonates with me. So, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's a little breaking, I feel.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was just saying that this was a wonderful session, and thank you very much. This topic is close to my heart.
Yeah. Okay. Any others want to know anything?
One second. I'm trying to toggle between the laptop and this thing. Thanks, Manju. There were, very good insights. Actually, these are the practicalities of being a school counselor. One very good point that you said was that, you don't report it back to the management. So this is something that school counselors, even before we enter into it, at an interview level, we have to be very careful.
Yeah, sometimes, Seema, since all are into exam mode, once everyone finishes their exam and get result, then we can have one more session, only practical. So that time there will be no theory in the mind.
No, but this is a very important part of our Monday's exam, actually. One of the units is dedicated, the whole block is dedicated to this. Anybody else has anything to ask in particular?
Yeah, I had a question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Ranjit, go ahead.
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for the session. Like both of them said, Madhu and Seema said, very insightful, very practical, and relatable now that we are reading this as one of the units. So thank you for that. My question is more, so I understood how the counseling process works when you're talking to children. What I'm trying to understand, and more from a practical sense, is how do you identify that a kid needs counseling? So does it come from the kid? Does it come from the teacher? Does it come from the parent? I know theoretically that it comes from any one of them. But in your given setup, now that you said you're a full-time counselor, right? What is a day-to-day, a regular way of, structured way of how the kids are identified for counseling?
Yeah, this can be on three ways. One is the child coming on its own. When it comes to lower classes, it's many times it's the teacher who brings. And I was going for me, one advantage was that I was a counselor and life skills trainer. So I used to get an opportunity to go to the class also every weekly once. So my personal observation also will help me that, okay, in this class when I go, this child is always quiet or always not involving. somewhere lost around. So that was one thing where I myself can identify and call the child. And there was other where the teacher may also refer the child that, okay, the child is going through something. Can you talk to the child? In the lower classes. Lower classes, children coming on their own was not very rare, I can tell about. Either I identify or the teacher tells about that or a parent tells about that. When you go to the little higher classes, again, one is my identification because I go to all the classes, so I could identify. But in the higher classes, students, they themselves also come and they know that, okay, somebody is available here, we can speak to this person. So it can be during break time or it can be after school hours where the children can come and talk to. So in higher classes, they are more independent to come and talk to us also, and also some references. But lower classes, mainly it's through reference many times because the child may not even understand exactly like I should go to a counselor or how much ever we try to be, but still they'll not understand that concept of going on their own or asking on their own. But higher classes, like even they need not ask, like after school hours, even the child, if they want to just talk, it was a and one more thing, it depends on the setup sometimes. Some becomes very difficult because you are visible to whoever comes goes. I had a place which is little away from there was no visibility as such, so the student after 3:30, if a student after school hours, if the student who can walk in, the student could walk in and nobody knows that the child has come here and we are speaking, and the confidentiality also would have maintained. The one fear, as I told, is with that word counseling. So when the child friends goes knows that this child has gone for counseling, then afterwards she's like, okay, there is something wrong. So I made a I brought the concept of counseling with small things, and then I come with including parents, teachers, and after that, when I ask who don't need counseling, everyone will tell all of us need counseling in some point or other point of our life. So that is how to make it little where everyone can connect to it and they can come. Then it becomes easy. But if the word counseling, the way it's put in their mind is very like, okay, it's a big word or something kind of thing, then people hesitant, they are hesitant to come and talk to also. And I had a system where when they come to each, I made my own system where I give a questionnaire kind of thing for everybody. It's a just a general, who are you, what are your goals, dreams, what are kind of thing. And then I have interaction with every student. So when you have interaction with that particular class, each standard, when you have interaction with every student, then there is no question of somebody has gone to counselor, somebody has not gone to counselor. Everybody have gone. Then after that, when there is a need, then this some students may have second, third session. Some student may need not have second, third session. It's that way. So once you start working, depending on the system setup and all that, you can have your own way of going, because sometimes some institutions have their own setup and the way they send the student. Some will tell you cannot talk only, you can talk only in after class hours, some allow in between class hours. So depending on the institution, sometimes you need to change few things, but this is how usually my experience was, how students, parents, even teachers, when I had parent session after when I opened it, like some parents came personally for their personal issues also, like their family issues between husband and wife. So they came also. So I called during school, asked that yes, you can come and talk to. But they don't want the child to know that they have come and spoken. So the child is in the class and parents come and speak and they'll go off. So it that way you can manage. If you are full time, I was into full time. But if somebody is into part time as only counselor, then what one thing is they may not get the opportunity to have an observation because they'll be only as a counselor. So they can talk only if somebody comes to them. They themselves cannot identify any issues or anything because they are not going to the classes or seeing their behavior or something. Then it may be a different way. So for me, it was this way. Since I had an advantage of going to the class, I myself used to identify them also.
Okay, thank you. In fact, I'm happy to know that the kids nowadays are even aware that they can go and meet a counselor.
Yeah,
So that
that's
itself is a big
coming
thing
up.
because I don't think in our days we even knew that there is something like this, right? So
Yeah.
good to know. Good to know, Manjuna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else has anything related? I think that was.
Somebody has asked, our textbook says counseling is done in academic, career, personal, social. Will one school counselor be expected to handle children issues in all these areas? Okay,
Right.
it depends on how you join also. See, and even there are different types of counselors. Now, career counselor. See, one thing also, sometimes you would have heard of this hmm, agencies or something who do career counseling for children, send them abroad, send them to different countries and all that. So they are into different counseling. They are into, like, they have a tie up with this university, and the counsel the child to go to that particular university, how to get admission, how to go about all those things, and they send it. But here, uh, as a part of your counseling, yes, you may get career counseling also, but you need not be aware of all these universities and other things. Sorry, what I do in my class also is, from even from the class 8th, we start explaining them or tell them how to go about choosing career, how to go about choosing subjects. After that, once they go to 10th standard, they'll be in a better position to choose which subjects they want, which course they want, and colleges. But here, I tell them to explore things, because till 10th days, many students don't even have idea which subject to choose. After 10th result, they decide based on my 10th marks card what I want to take marks. But I tell, first you need to decide your destination, then work backward. And basis, see, one thing what again we are lacking nowadays is creating awareness about the career options for the current generation. When we were in school, the options were very limited, traditional. Now there are so many upcoming careers which are coming up, but we cannot give details of every career, but we can make the child know the process of exploring. Simple thing, if I tell, if you go to a marriage or a function, you see 100 people, you see 100 different careers there. So talk to the people, interact with the people. If somebody tells I'm working as something, okay, start knowing, okay, what is that? How does the work go on? What the basics of that work, or the work style, lifestyle, subject needed to study, or how including how is the salary structure? All those things when they know, and skills required, talents required, so they understand that, okay, this is some job like this I was not knowing. Then you talk to one more person, you talk to one more person. So like the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different careers you come to keep knowing. And then when they reach 10th standard or something, they'll be at least in a position to choose which stream they want to go in. But many current children, they don't even have idea of which stream, just they go of science, then after that, okay, medical engineering, medical engineering. There are n number of other careers which are available. So if we are also as a counselor are updated about the various career options available, it's always useful to guide them, especially the higher classes. They do come for like career counselor, I'm confused, where to go, what to do kind of thing. So as a career, as a counselor, uh, if you are aware, I may not tell 100%, but if you are able to be aware of how to go about, what to go about, how you can help them, that will be an added advantage. If not, if a child comes with career confusion kind of thing, maybe you will not be able to help. But be aware of various things happening, and the process, as I told, the process of choosing. I tell, okay, talk to them, know them, understand them. What is the lifestyle? What is the work style? Because sometimes they choose some career. After that, you see that lifestyle is, I don't like the lifestyle of that, or I don't have the skill set, or I expected so high salary. This job pays me only this much salary. So they should be aware of various things connected to that, and then they can choose what they're good at, and then they can keep progressing and going. And once they, you need not give them the end like this college, you put back the ball to their court only. Okay, you told you want to do this, go find out how many colleges offer this course. So they go find out and come back. And you also have your own, you can build up your network, and you can build up your knowledge book or something. You can keep updating, like new things you keep reading in papers, some new job type came in. Just add on to your system also, and help the child also to go and find out. So when we help them to find out, they come up with various, sometimes you would have not heard the word, they'll come up with that career option. Then you you take time, go back, explore what that career is, talk to somebody, come back, and again continue a discussion with the child. But knowing that is always very good. And when it comes to academic, yes, if somebody is not doing academically well, they will come and ask about, like, okay, how to help the child out. Then maybe we can talk about study skills, the way the child is studying, what difficulty the child is going through. One is if there is some emotional issues and other things which the child is not able to focus, we need to work on that. Over and above that, if the child, the methodology of studying, or there's some we call study skills or memory techniques or something, if you know that thing also, it helps to help the child to do better. There will be some children who will be really working hard, but they will not be scoring. Maybe their method to write properly or whatever, we don't know. So if we try to find out that way, academically also we can help them. But one thing they really like, majority when they have a high expectation that every child should get 95%, 99, my child should get 95%. Any parent, that's the higher expectation. But we make them, we have to make them understand what is the child capability also. Not to stress too much, but to one extent where a child can get a minimal required percentage or grade or whatever. That way we can help the child academically also through these study skills and other methodologies. And when we say time management, that's one important thing when I talk about time management. A lot of people, if I ask you also to draw a time clock and tell me how your 24 hours is going on, some of us will not even realize where the time is going. Then we come up with, okay, no time for studying, no time for this. So I do time management and, okay, tell them how to manage your time, where your time is going on. I told mobiles, how much time they're spending on mobiles or how much time they're spending on other things and how much they are giving time for studies. So when you start working on the time management also, that helps them to manage better time and give time for academics. And also I always keep telling them, school is not only academics. School is the time where you have to enjoy, you have to play, you have to show interest in extracurricular activities, you have to do every holistically. So that way time management helps them to understand how we can work on time and how time can be given for some other activities. If not, nowadays children, I see, like, I sometimes, like, I feel our childhood was far better. Nowadays, like, they don't have time for anything. School, then go back, homework, go back to tuitions, come back, study this, sleep, and over. That's a day. So I feel like, where do they play? And play also, they tell we play together where they are at their own houses, but you have a game where everybody sitting in their own houses, they can play together. So it has become like that. So I help them with time management, how we can manage time and all those things. So that will help academically to manage things and other things also. And personal and social skills, yes, as a personal issues or anything, emotional support, that is always there. And what I follow most of this non-directive. Sometimes you may think children are there, okay, they will not know much, only we have to tell. No, actually, if we allow them to think and come, they can come up with a lot of solutions to them. So I necessary, I help them. If not, I put the ball back to their coach so that they try to find out, come, and they are empowered. Like if somebody career come and ask me if I have to do this, I'll not tell, okay, this is how you do. I'll tell, okay, your interest is that, try to find out and come. Next class we'll discuss. Then they find out and come. Then I'll give little inputs. So that is where how we can start empowering them, and later on they are able to lead their life on their own. Okay, any others?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think Vasudha has something to
Yeah,
ask.
it is not about asking exactly. It is about
Okay.
something that I've noticed or seen. So a couple of my cousins are out of India, and not only that, I've seen it on so many series where the children, when they're in the younger age, somewhere in the middle school or something, they put up a classroom setup where they ask the parents to come in and talk about their careers. So
Hmm.
just to enlighten the other children about what career options that they have. I think this is extremely important in India because it not only enlightens the parent, but it also enlightens the child in choosing different career options, right? I mean,
But
I
yeah,
think this is important.
that's absolutely right. But the sad part is most of our system is focused only most of on academics.
Academics,
You
yeah.
believe no, if a age 9 standard student go and talk to their parents sometimes about career when we have a session, go talk to the simple thing is why you are breaking your head right now for this. First finish your 10th
Exactly.
standard, then we'll
Exactly.
talk about your career. So that awareness, I tell you, there's lot to be done on awareness level. So if you are able to create awareness among parents, teachers, and all that, then we can be wonderful job. But I told in counseling, life skills, there is far way to go still. We are just actually just on the starting point or somewhere. We have reached to one level, but there's lot to do. As you told, in case if you start that career kind of thing, every school makes it a part of their curriculum or even having that helps them. But as per my knowledge, it's very less. Hardly there are some places which have that kind of thing. And some places they have like, okay, only once in a year somebody comes, talks for 2 hours and goes off. That also sometimes it just go away, they go above their head. But if you can have a regular interaction, see, always it's like, okay, somebody talks to me, I go back. Even in counseling, you will see that. Go back, work, see whether it has worked, not worked, it has been succeeded or not succeeded, why, what happened. They come back and rework on that, do something. So that really helps them to find out. If not, as I told, time management, I will ask, okay, come again, okay, sit with me, why you're not able to manage time, why you are not getting enough, sit, work with the go back, work and come, were you able to get some time extra for this, no, okay, we'll choose something. So that way the continuous process and follow-ups are very important, even follow-ups kind of thing. So I had a record, as I told, it's for my record, I maintained maybe like a different record. One is for my personal, which had like more details, because in case if you're working in a school, there will be so many students coming and talking to you over a period of time, and sometimes you may not remember or recall exactly what. So for my personal, which nobody had an access, I had like few data kind of thing, few thing just to understand this. And if somebody asks like management or somebody, just like, okay, academic issue, personal issue, something very there is nothing detail in that. So that way it helps me to, even if this student who has come to me in third standard, and maybe after 3 years, 4 years, the same child comes back to me. So I can just recall, okay, I've spoken to this child 3 years back about some issue. And now that issue has cropped up again, or it may be a different issue which has come up kind of thing. So that helps. But what is that we may not write in front of a counselor or a student. It's anybody, it's individual way. Like some people only okay listen and daily work, but my only thing, if you are on a regular interaction, especially like school, regular interaction with various kinds of students, it may be difficult to remember everything what each student told. So it's good if you can maintain as a record which is of personal use, but nothing in front of the counselor or a child. When the child is talking, it's only you and me. After the child goes back, then I'll try to add few points of what I just want to add upon, but nothing when, because if somebody is telling and you're writing or a typing or something, they may feel that you're not focusing, you're not giving that attention to them. Then later on you can have your own way. Once you start doing, sometimes we come up with our own way of remembering things or maintaining records and all those things that can be there.
Right. I just wanted to add one thing, Manju.
Yeah.
Even as counselors or people who are looking at picking up a counseling job, I think
Hmm.
it's very important for us also to sit down first and introspect and see where our skill set is, what is the need, what is the requirement. See, I have seen so many people, many of our students, when they go and join as school counselors, and jobs are pouring in because I used to manage, right, the job portal. So I used to notice that they will just simply go without preparation,
Hmm.
without preparing for an interview. And they're very happy when they get a job as a, because they've just completed a counseling program and they're very happy to join. They don't ask, what is my responsibility? What is
Hmm.
my job role? How will I progress? Is it confidential? Will I have a reporting system? Nothing, zero knowledge. They'll just simply go give an interview and be very happy and stuck. What
Hmm.
next? And all that job dissatisfaction and all that starts. So a good idea is to sit down and, like you said, no, if we have life skills like you did your life skills, or we are also empowered to do career counseling and all that. If we develop our skill set like that,
Hmm.
then we can also go and negotiate better and say that,
Yeah.
look, this is what I bring to the table. This is what I can do for you. And from a position of strength, you should go, I feel, as a counselor, and not just pick up anything randomly. And then worst part is that they will join for some time and leave.
Leave.
Children, imagine somebody who's come and emotionally poured out and all that. How do they feel about it? So this is something that we as counselors also need to be very sensitive about, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's very important because they have trusted the person and started sharing, and things
yeah,
start changing, and suddenly this person is not there. That can
yeah.
also be one thing. So as you go for when you're talking to the management and other thing, you need to be very clear initially, as
Hmm.
Seema told, like what will be your role, how much you have to report, what, and even your place, even your
Hmm.
counseling room or whatever. It should not be in just general public where everybody in and out
Hmm.
can see something very personal, little bit deeper or inside somewhere. All those things are very important. And sometimes some schools, like if they don't know what is counseling, you have to make them understand what is counseling and to the need of counseling, because many institutions, they don't understand the need of counseling also. They feel like,
Yeah.
why counseling, what's the use? So we have to make them understand why counseling, what will be done, how we will do that, and how counseling is needed for everybody, all those things. Then if we try to take that management into confidence, then it becomes easier. Then comes the teachers, then comes the parents. So counselors are like in the center where you have to manage on
Yes.
one way teachers, one way parents, one is the
Yes.
management, and you need to work with children. So it's everybody
Hmm.
are there. You have all of them, but still you are all alone, as
Yeah.
I told, because
Correct.
you cannot talk very personal with somebody, or you cannot share
Hmm.
very close relationship. Why I
Yeah.
tell is, like, imagine a student sharing something personal about that teacher, and you are a very close friend of the teacher. Then it may happen that you may not be able to take it, or you may go and tell off to the teacher if you have a very close relationship with that particular teacher or a
Hmm.
colleague. So you have to maintain that relationship, plus the distance what has to be maintained, so that
Hmm.
even if child comes and tells about me that in your class I don't like, kind of thing, I should be open, because that time I'm wearing the hat of counselor, not a life skills trainer. So we should be open to that also. That is one thing.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Manju. Anybody saying something?
Anybody, anything else?
Yeah, because it's 7:5, 7:3, I
Eight
think.
five, eight, 8 2.
Sorry, 8. Yeah, 8:2.
8 2,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right.
People are
So
busy with the exams, that's well.
not only that, even you, I'm sure you are also busy with something. So thanks a lot, Manju. That was a very practical view on stuff. So I think it's brilliant. I thought this session really, it'll be fresh, and day after tomorrow we have this exam. So many of the points which you have mentioned, actually, we can go and not only write, and also as a counselor when we look for a job. Definitely, I think we
Once, as
should.
I told, once you finish your exams and all, teachers who are people who are looking for school as a
Yeah,
counseling, we can
correct.
have a session and we can have some more discussion once
Sure,
you're
sure,
free
sure.
from your exams.
We should do it in Manthan, call everybody there and do in person, face to face.
Yeah,
That would be
I
very
am
nice.
always ready.
By the way, now Manju is a freelancer also. So he, I
Yeah.
mean, you have to also keep reassessing your own growth and all that as a counselor. So he's now into freelancing, tying up with different schools and colleges and all that. So brilliant work.
So
So
that's what
anybody
I
who wants
told
to,
you. I feel lot of our school system lacks this counseling and life
yes,
skills and other things. So that is one
right,
reason where I want to reach out to more and more students, more and
yes,
more schools. So that is
yes,
one reason now I am trying to work with as much as possible
yes,
more schools, and as much as possible create an awareness
yeah,
on exactly what is. And just to add on one thing, Seema, I'm
yeah,
associated with one of the special school
okay,
uh, where there are around 80 students with autism,
okay,
different level of autism they are having. So there was there all 80 students and there were 40 teachers, and all the 40 teachers are ladies. The management was lady. They had a counselor who is a lady. So the management wanted a man or a men figure to go and address the fathers,
okay,
because many times it happens like fathers, sometimes man is there, no, I should not cry or I should be strong kind of thing, and they don't express it to anybody
hmm,
sometimes. So they felt that okay, if I am there, I can talk to the fathers and they can connect to me. So I am doing some sessions for the fathers also, and there are
very
so much,
interesting.
sometimes you feel fathers are very strong and they don't need counseling kind of thing, but behind they also go through so much that they are
Totally.
looking for somebody to just give that support, and you see, and they can also literally break down kind of thing.
Absolutely. I've
Associate-
seen every other man break down in my
yeah.
room because they are not, they don't know how to do it. And suddenly
So
they
correct,
feel,
we have
you know,
not been taught how to cry or what.
absolutely.
The
My
when we
heart
Still
goes
keep
out
them
to
in
men, that's
macho
why.
image. We
Yeah.
can still
so
keep
this
them
school,
macho image,
special
right?
school,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
different experience, maybe later
Yeah.
sometime, but working with a special
Sure.
school is also a very good experience to
Sure.
different mindset of parents and all those things. So it's a really wonderful. Whoever wants to take up counseling with children, then we
Yes.
can catch up later and spend more time to understand children.
Absolutely. Manju is always looking for good resource people and all that.
Yeah.
Actually, in this field, we can all like, it's very collaborative and, all of that. So great. If anybody wants to get in touch with Manju also, just let me know. So
Okay.
great. Yeah, Manju, thanks so much.
Bye.
Thank
All
you
the
for
best
your
for your
time.
exams.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thanks a
guys.
lot.
Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
very
in.
insightful